with a full quorum. And so I like to say that this meeting is being conducted with a virtual component for anybody out there. This is going to be live.
You're live now.
Oh, okay, good. So everything I said before was false. Anyway, wishing to address the committee virtually may join the meeting online at Mountain View Zoom, and there's you can go check out 852-06706172 or by dialing 669-900-9128 and enter the web number 852-0670-6172. And then when the chair announces that item you wish to speak, raise your hand, featured in Zoom, or dial 9 on your phone. When the chair calls your name to provide public comment, if you are participating by phone, please press 6 to unmute yourself. So we will call this meeting to order. As I say, we have a full quorum, which is a nice thing to have. Everybody's been 6 months of rest and now we're ready to move on. Roll call, I said we got a full thing. And now we have minutes to approve. We have minutes from May the 15th, the last time we met. So that's why we're all excited to be here tonight. And if anybody has any questions about the minutes, this would be a good time to ask. Or take a moment or two to review what was on the board. Oh, either if it could be an update, I could see on one. Just raise your heads when you are finished reviewing if you have any questions. Do we have anybody from the public? Mr. Hall?
Nope.
Okay. Any questions or reviews? Questions? I will be asking our executive director, maybe she will give us when we do updates on the opportunities with the Performing Arts Committee and Visual Arts Committee, if there's any update. Okay, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes from May the 15th? I hear a motion.
Second.
Second. And a third. Okay. All in favor, say aye, wave your hand, stamp your feet. Okay, we got all four hands. And we will go. Oral communication from the public. One more time, Mr. Hall, is there anybody from the public?
There's not.
Okay. There you go, it's there. Okay, new business, fiscal year 24-25 Performing Arts Committee work plan. And there's a recommendation to review it and approve it. So with that being said, is there a staff report?
There is a brief staff report of the 24-25 Performing Arts Committee work plan. Some of these are ongoing work items, such as the National Arts and Humanities Month that we will continue to do every year. And then some of these are specific work items for this plan year. So please take a look at review at those, and then we can have a discussion about them. The Home Company program review is one that will go before council in November, and then that won't come back for a while. And then we also have kind of a holdover from last year of the review of the Art and Wine Festival, just for observations, for suggestions on how to participate in the coming week. Which then, if we come up with a plan and decide that we want to participate in that would become a regular ongoing work. That we would do it annually.
Does anybody have questions for staff on this?
So is the Art and Wine Festival something that could be put on the agenda in January, just to remind people, so that the committee would have a chance to think about it and maybe have a conversation before we review the work plan and are reminded, oh yes.
Well, I think it's on the work plan right now, just to review it, and it's coming up in September, so that we would like decide who's going to attend with the lens of how might this committee participate in the Art and Wine Festival, or you might come back as a group and go, you don't want to do that. That's up to you guys. But the idea this year for 24 is that we would go and attend with the lens of like, how might this body be able to participate in the Art and Wine Festival, and how might that support this group, and how might it support the performance. So then we would move forward as far as like what you're talking about, like in January, we would have to come up with a plan of what we were gonna do for September of 25. The Art and Wine
Right.
Festival is in September every year, so.
I guess my point is, if it's not on an agenda, we don't think about it. You know, earlier in the year.
Yeah, no, we'd have to come up with a plan. I would imagine that we might want to have a little ad hoc. agenda. Depending on the decision after this year's Art and Wine.
Okay.
I would think that might discuss it, not in January, but maybe in October, because it would be fresh on our minds. And that my mind isn't as quick as it used to be. And so it might be better that way. So,
Fine, just so it gets on the agenda.
okay,
Because,
then we
you
should
know,
put
yeah.
it October. Any other questions or
But I made a note that our milestone would be to discuss our options in October of 24. At that meeting.
Okay.
Options, ideas.
yes, any other questions? While you guys are contemplating, I do have a question.
Yes.
Staff recommends changes to the recurring items for fiscal. The Mountain View for the Center for Role in the Economic Impact of Downtown and Support of the Tourism. So what is the change that you are recommending? That
Well,
we
that-
participate in the economic impact, or how is so?
Yes, and that also coincides with the next discussion of how we might partner with the Visual Arts Committee and Downtown Committee. Because those two committees, especially the Downtown Committee, specific to economic development, but the Visual Arts Committee is also tied with us in that they're in the lobby. And how might we be able to partner collectively?
Okay, so you're saying that we should change this, that we should be actively participating in the study of downtown and revitalization.
Yes. And the Economic Development Department, John Lang, is bringing in a consultant to do a downtown study on ancillary spending, aside from what Americans for the Arts does, and they're going to include us in that process.
I thought he'd done that. Or is this a different consultant? Because they seem to be bringing in consultants a lot.
I don't think it's
No, the
been
city.
done because they haven't come to us yet. I mean, he might, I don't want to misspeak, but they might have chosen, they've chosen the consultant and he might be on starting, but they haven't come to CPA yet.
Do you know who the consultant is?
They're out of San Jose. And I can see
Okay.
that to the, off the top of my head.
Regarding the work plan real quick, did the not performing arts, the Parks and Rec division come when, or do anything with Park Stage when they were doing the consultant work that's still going on? Did that?
No.
I'm just curious because it remains the only outside area for live music in the city, so I'm just wondering. I don't know.
And then, so national arts so recommend occurring through the recurring changes to. So again, what are the changes? Maybe you could just point those out for the national arts and humanity.
There really isn't a change to the National Arts and Humanities Month. We basically we bring it to this body in August to make sure that you guys review it. I know last year that we added a video that unfortunately didn't get played. And then it goes September to City Council for the proclamation, and we'll make sure that the video is published.
Does the video need to be updated?
It will.
Oh, thank you.
So this is kind of, unless you want to add something to that, that's a kind of a standing item now. So we'll bring it to this body in time to go to City Council, and then it goes in City Council because Arts and Humanities Month is in October.
And do
I should
we
add.
have a body present at the meeting to present this or to?
I did last year, but by all means, if somebody wants to present from the committee, you're more than welcome.
Okay. And did they all take you one?
Well, they kind of read it and do their thing. No, play the video.
Okay.
That's true.
And then,
Because you were there with me.
and the annual home company presentation changes are,
There's no significant changes there. Upstage will do theirs in September, Theater Works in October, and PYT in November. These are their annual presentations. The only thing that will be changing, I'm actually gonna do this right now. It's kind of sort of part of that, but this is the attendance, quarterly attendance and review that we had discussed before. This is the whole year. You will be getting these quarterly from now on. But we did add in, as per Mr. McAllister's request, the percentage of attendance. And so that will be being reviewed when we get our presentations from our home company. That will be taken under consideration.
so the reason I asked about what the changes were, so if somebody pulled out this document and then they said changes, they might not be able to know the changes, so.
Okay. Well, the ongoing work items don't typically change too much unless you guys direct me otherwise. It's the work items.
And the staff remains with the following one-time items. Home company program review. So when you say a one-time item, oh, for the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Right. And review Art and Wine Festival. Now, I know that there's gonna be, the chamber is gonna be using the center for their discussion AI for their big trade show that they
Their
do,
tech showcase?
tech showcase.
Yes.
And the place is booked solid,
Mhm.
all 600 seats.
No, they're in second stage. So
Well,
they're in second stage and then they use the plaza actually for the tech
well,
show.
the outside, okay, so when I'm also on the board of directors for the chamber, we had a meeting today and they talked about it. And it sounded like it was here, because they said they had 100. How many does the second stage hold?
150 to 200.
Okay, so they said they had 100 registrant and that would try to get everybody in there.
Yeah.
So,
So that will be sold.
okay, so what can we do to highlight the center when we have all these tech people coming in for future events or so?
What do we want to?
Well, don't
I
we?
mean, the one thing I will say is, as far as we're concerned, they're a client. I mean, we're hosting, we're just there as staff.
The chamber reached out and said, we want to rent the hall.
Well, they're part of this city relationship, so they, yes.
Give them the hall.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, they were talking about putting up a banner to collect money for fundraising. For the chamber, not for us. So I was just curious if there's any. Okay, that's that. Okay, so that being said, that includes the following one-time item. Okay, where are we on review of second stage fee program and usage? I know that,
So
but
do we need to, may have a motion to approve this work plan, or what are we doing?
Yes, we do need to make a motion, but I would also like to,
no, we're still going through it. Once we get it done.
yeah, so I want to make sure that like, home company program review, we don't have any changes there. Review of second stage fees and create reduced fee program to encourage additional usage. I've put in some milestones for us because we get on the back there. Review of the Art and Wine Festival. I did add in here under dates and milestones that we will discuss option and ideas at the upcoming October 24th meeting. October 2024 meeting. So we'll go to the Art and Wine Festival in September. I'm gonna add that in September, and then we'll discuss ideas in October. We're good with that?
Yeah, towards Silicon Valley. With somebody, I'm not good with acronyms.
Would you like me to spell those out?
For, again, if an independent person was reading this, they may not understand those. Please.
Good point. And I will do that also with.
And so we have a review at the August 2024 PAC meeting, so that's coming up. Wow. So when you say includes the one-time items, home company review, that's a recurring item also,
No, I'm confused. Where are you?
right here. Says one-time items.
B,
Yes.
page 2.
No,
The home
no, I'm
company
right here. Home company program review. And
Oh,
you said it's one time, but it's,
This is the review, not the presentations.
Yeah, it's the review, not the presentation. It's the review of the whole program.
but I thought we were now reviewing them yearly.
That's the presentations, right? Oh,
That's-
reviewing the contracts yearly?
Let's see, well, yeah,
No, this is ongoing, annual home company presentations. That's when we review them annually. The home company program review is a one-time. We're gonna,
that's where the ad hoc committee is coming in and saying, that, okay,
this is what we're doing. That will go to council. That may affect what we do on the annual home company presentations and how they present to us. But the home company program review is a one-time item that will go to council
okay,
from this body.
maybe the review is throwing me a little bit. The word review.
Should I change that to review and recommendations to council?
To update programs. Home company program for update. Well, we need to do policy updates. Because what we're doing is we're doing more
Policy.
than,
Update and recommendations to council.
and that's where we need again.
Yes.
Ad hoc committee presents to PAC with recommendations, so we're gonna be using that once, so. Is that still on for August?
It is.
Okay, so you'll review, return with revisions if necessary.
Mhm.
And is that after the presentation?
So the ad hoc committee will come to this body August meeting
August meeting, okay,
and present. There may be some feedback from the group that we need to make some revisions or make some
Okay.
changes. So then it'll come back again if need to in September for approval. And then from September, it gives us a little bit of time to get it ready to go to council.
and then we have the review of second stage fees, create reduced fee program. Are we creating one or are we reviewing one?
We're creating an entire new, because what we did before was, I mean. The way that the fee waiver program was originally put together is that if you were a client and came to us and wanted to rent the second stage, then we would offer for you to use the fee at a use the facility at a reduced fee.
for the first time.
And for the first time, and then it would come to this body. The direction that I think it should go to is that we're more transparent about it. And this is a fee waiver, gotta come up with a better name, but like a granting program. And then budgetarily, I'll determine like how many can we afford to give away. So let's say for sake of conversation, I'm gonna give away 5 weeks in a year. We'll have a time when people will put in and request use of the second stage. And that it'll be a grant program. So we'll be asking for different information. They'll be having to provide their financials. There'll be a nonprofit, It'll come to this body. You guys will approve who gets that use of the second stage, and then that goes into the season in primary. So that will become an annual.
Or as needed review?
I would hope it would be annual. I mean.
No,
if
meaning
we're-
for, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think if we're more transparent about it and upfront and advertise it, that you can use the facility at a reduced or free rate, then I think there will be people that will come. We weren't transparent before. I think that's my biggest
Okay.
complaint.
Being conservative, I like the phrase reduced rate instead of free. Because they'll come in, well, we want it free, and so, okay, well, then that's an option after we discuss with them, but
Yeah.
that's the finer point where the ad hoc committee with our chair here could present. And you're gonna meet with the executive director to schedule our event, or we'll learn that tonight.
We're gonna set up some time after this meeting.
Excellent. Okay.
Maybe one more meeting with you guys. I've got you here now, so.
I like the idea of reviewing the whole structure of that program every year, because it's gonna will evolve and change depending on who applies. And so maybe the original guidelines need to be tweaked a little bit, so.
Well, I think the original are definitely already, we sort of shelved them. And that there should be some new guidelines
Yes, I.
brought forward to you. Revisions and then, oh, council 25. And then we had the review of art line, which we talked about. Where is the thing about, okay. Did anybody else have questions? Oh, we got the perfection.
Well, I just have a comment on the ongoing thing. This thing about collaborating with other committees and commissions comes up on the work plan annually. This gives us a real focus this coming year, and so I think that's great, because that means it'll happen. So thank you, Teresa.
Trying.
Okay, so before we move to, let's take a quick look at city policy, council policy page attachment 2. And so that, because all council advisory bodies are required to annually prepare work plans that are submitted to the city council. This will generally occur in late spring or summer in order to integrate with the council's priorities. Again, priorities. Some instances as determined by the city manager in consultation with the advisory body staff. Work plan approval less frequently than every year may be permitted. And so the reason I want to bring that up, it says it's the city council for review. It's city council's priorities. It's not staff's priorities or determinations. So we, through Teresa, we channel our energy and thoughts to the council.
Well, that is true, but I think council relies on staff for a lot of on the ground stuff, so.
What I'm alluding to directly is that we don't want it to be too filtered when it gets to council. If this council, this body feels solid in what they think, then that's what should go to the council. After all of our due deliberations and ad hoc committees.
Mhm.
And the phrase conduit is a flight. As a show of respect. So that's why I just wanted to show you to bring that out. As that. Do not jointly, the mayor, okay, well, that's blah, blah, blah. And that's, that was what I brought you there. Is there, okay, any questions, approvals, additions that anybody wants to do to it?
So I just want to repeat one more time so that everybody knows. So page 1, we're good with the ongoing item of the Mountain View Center for the Arts, collaborating with the other committees. Number 2, I've added National Arts and Humanities Month in October so that we kind of understand the timeline there. Annual home company presentations. I'm going to spell out Theater Works Silicon Valley and Peninsula Youth Theater. And then on B, the home company program policy update and recommendations to city council. And on number 3, I've added September to the review of the Art and Wine Festival in September of 24.
October.
October.
No. Review of Art and Wine Festival in September of 24. Observations on the milestone is discuss option and ideas at our meeting in October of 24.
Oh,
That's why I wanted to make sure we're all on the same page.
where in here, okay, so one thing that's not on our work plan is the ad hoc, or this committee has talked about opening up, reducing the home company and bringing in the options of presentation for more bodies coming in. Where, I like to see that somewhere on our work plan. that this is what we're also striving for.
What bodies?
Our body.
What are we gonna bring in arts groups or?
No, but so if we get the home companies reduced time, then we need to talk about, we want to bring in diverse groups coming in or smaller groups coming in for presentations. So a freelancer could rent the facilities. And so that we would do an outreach if council approves our work plan. And I'd like to see the council. Is there a way that we could put that in our work plan that says, council, this is what we're going to strive for a little bit?
I guess my question would be, do we want to put that on the work plan before the home company program has been approved?
I
'Cause there's- what I'm gonna say is there's no reason why we can't create an ad hoc presenting committee and move forward with some ideas, but to put it on the work plan before the home company program is approved.
But
We don't
remember,
have room to do it, I guess is where I'm going.
we could, well, date, TBD, but if we put it on the work plan, people, it's better to have it there than not to have it there.
Mhm.
Because then we know what's going on and it opens the door for us to say, well, if someone says, well, it's not on your work plan. Oh, yes, it is. It's something that we are striving for.
So we want to add 4.
Mhm.
And do we want to word that similar to what I did on the second stage fees? We can say review of, what do I want to say? Review of.
Options for other,
I think you should emphasize the performing arts in this case, or do you want to emphasize use of the?
well, performing art. Oh, well, I just want to say, because you've got yours, I got my groups that want to come in. Carol likes her theater, but something that says, we are wanting to broaden the participation of the community, broaden the events that are broaden them.
Options for
word.
broadening the,
Outreach?
Venues that come to this, something like that.
Something about
Renters?
new audiences
Mm,
or diversify?
I'm gonna say artists, we could say diversify, or artists and genres
Yes,
that perform. So I wrote down options for broadening,
Can we add community use? And that's, I think, the key part is different community members utilizing the space.
well, that's part of everybody, so I don't know how you incorporate, but
Well, yeah,
I'm just saying.
well, instead of, because it depends if we're looking to, if your intention is to talk about bringing community or talking about it from, there's 2 ways, right? You could emphasize, let's look into the community, let's look that way. Or we could emphasize and seeing what genres are missing in that. So that one is an outside looking, one is internally looking.
I just want to keep it broad so that we can get everybody.
Well, then it just looks one would,
Okay.
yeah.
options for broadening the programmatic mix of artists and community users that perform. at the city.
Yeah, very, yeah. Which is,
Is that-
well,
It's really like it really got.
well, very
got
different than,
somehow.
yeah, it's very different than saying the use of the genres and in that regard
So
and
what was
styles.
the milestones?
Discuss.
Well, that's TBD. The milestones is to bring in the new shows.
And then, sorry, was there,
Well, that's a date. What
Mhm.
milestone?
do we have, where's the collaboration with the other?
That was A.
Wilson,
That's the first thing. It's a,
You don't need
it's a
to know.
milestone.
Do me a favor.
rather than a title.
will you pull up
So
council's
just
strategic
moved over.
plan? Because I want us to look at the council strategic plan.
Yes.
Because I really think that we should be using. And I don't have it right.
Okay.
Justin's gonna. Can we,
That might take me a minute.
that's all right.
Or another smile working plan is to collaborate with the council's strategic plan and implement. I don't know if they really
Well,
ask.
we can't really.
No, that's true.
No,
We
I'm
can't.
just thinking like on the, when we're talking about community use and genre and programmatic mix and.
The strategic plan will be helpful too, you get verbiage from.
Then we can look at the verbiage and say, okay, we wanna discuss options for broadening.
broadening or opening up? I know we're wordsmithing, but I want to be able to say,
Opening up sounds as though it's currently closed.
What is it? Well, we, there,
oh, it is closed.
So where were you thinking you saw that?
It's,
Like under
if you go to
council.
the website,
But that's why we say we want to have the opportunity.
The vision statement is something like an innovative community for all with innovative solutions or something like that.
Well, that's blah, blah, blah.
Well, the community for all parts is kind of the.
Well, that's what we're else.
Yeah, so I think good, but good.
I was trying to get
Strategic
it more-
priorities, that one?
Strategic priorities, that sounds
strategic
good.
priorities.
I don't know.
Now I gotta figure out how to share it so you can see it.
Leave it for, let's hear it. Let's hear it out of your mouth. Because we don't want strategic priorities. We want actual events to take place. So I rather get away from policy to actual, here's
No,
what
no,
we
no, no,
would
wait
like to
till you-
see.
There's.
You got somebody calling me?
I'm just trying
You
to.
do have Connor here from PYT.
Hi, Connor.
She hasn't raised her hand. I think.
Well, it's not appropriate at this moment.
Strategic priorities and council work.
Mhm.
So basically, it's like community for all, intentional development and housing options, mobility and connectivity, sustainability and climate resiliency, livability and quality of life, that would be us, economic vitality, organizational strength and good governance. So I think there's,
That's too broad for me. I want us to be more specific first.
no, I'm not saying that we won't be specific. I'm
Okay.
just saying that,
Lisa, I have it up.
you have it up? Now go to, if you go to, livability and quality of life, there'll be, sections, there's more.
Down below it.
I think it's down below. Yeah.
Download the-
So you can download it, go up, so right there, download the,
Download.
there's more to it.
Oh,
So they explain them. So community for all, support Mountain View socio and economic and cultural diversity. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, when we talk about, broadening, programmatic mix, maybe our community use, if we say broadening.
Well, we're also doing economic vitality. We're bumping that up. Quality
Exactly.
of life, presenting. some-
And maybe what I'm suggesting is that maybe on number 4, that we talk about, what we want to do in alignment with, council strategic
These
goals.
goals address economic vitality and just put economic vitality, community for all, and livability and quality of life.
Yes.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Fine. So but you're telling what we want, then we'll say we're tying it in with those
With what-
three.
They've already said it.
with the strategic plan.
Okay.
So back to our verbiage, so discuss options for broadening. Do we want to programmatic mix?
Diversifying. Well,
Options for
well,
broadening.
broadening, I don't know if we need to say diversify, but broadening. Because diversify, we are gonna do,
But then, and then you can add the who, broadening and then you add the who. Or
No,
not.
we could say broadening of, and throw an example right here, communities, different economic, no, we don't want any, this is more so cultural communities or entertainment value. Entertainment genres.
Or performing arts genres.
Well, performing arts says, okay, I'm sort of,
It's Performing Arts Center, so.
Well, entertainment and performing arts kind of fall into two different.
yeah, that's why I was wanted to, we could have performing arts. Entertainment is like, you got a comedian here, is that a performing art?
Yeah.
So is gaming is entertainment, so.
But not.
We could have a gaming
Right.
event here. Have you been
Okay.
approached yet?
So I think,
Where'd you go?
Oh, I can bring it back.
Sorry. Well, I can do it on my own. That's
Okay.
all right. I just want to get the language. So discuss options for broadening of performing arts genres to support city council priorities, blah, 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 blah. We want us to be more specific.
I'd rather be a little more specific.
Okay, discuss options for broadening of performing arts genres.
Which include diverse communities, different types of music, potentially comedians, storytellers. We had a storyteller came to our camp and he was on PNR, Public National Radio. He's a storyteller. A storyteller came and talked to us,
Well,
but just keep it, I don't know.
I think the broader the better. And I think once start listing different genres, it just gives people a reason to push back on it. If we
Okay.
don't know exactly what we're gonna do
Okay.
at this point. So we're just going to broaden performing arts genres.
And I sense to incorporate it with the strategic plan will give us better guidance upon return as to what genres, which artists, who is here. I think if we align it with the strategic plan.
And it's sort of, if we get too specific in the work plan, it sounds like Performing Arts Committee wants to do the programming
Mhm.
in the center, and that's not our role.
But we want to get to that point that our executive director.
Well, and then, but also too, for presenting can occur after the home company review.
So what do you got again?
So now I have discuss options for broadening of performing arts genres. And then I added in which include different communities, but I'm hearing that we don't want.
Okay.
So discuss
Broadening.
options for broadening of performing arts genres to support city council priorities of state, where we got? Community for all,
Yeah.
we can list these.
So broadening the genre opportunities to perform. I sometimes, if we put in there an opportunity to perform at the CPA. Does that make, because if we're just saying that we're opportunities. What does that mean? That means that we want them to be able to perform at the CPA.
We don't work with artists directly.
No, but what we're trying to say is. Go ahead, read that now, see what.
Discuss options for broadening the genre opportunity, that sounds weird. Discuss options for broadening genre opportunities to perform at CPA. And then I said in support of city council priorities of.
Okay,
A genre opportunity?
If not. Increasing community use and increasing varied community, increasing diverse community use, but I think, or in. Increasing use, I think is still.
well, that's what we want, increase the use, and that's why I said at performing at here. What do you think? Any thoughts?
I'm still processing everything.
Okay. Just speak up when you want to say what, and we'll be glad to. Justin, you could speak up too.
Well, I would recommend that the committee doesn't spend too much time going into the weeds of the wording and ask staff to come up
Well,
with
that-
phrases.
Yeah, but then we can't approve it if I,
Oh,
We
okay.
can approve
Well,
it
on
tonight.
timeliness, never mind my suggestion because of timeliness.
discuss options to increase the diverse use of the Center for the Performing Arts in support of council's priorities of livability. It's simplified it.
Well, community for all, better life, good quality life, and economic vitality. So it's- Is that bland enough? Everybody for it?
Say it again.
Discuss options to increase the diverse use of the Center for the Performing Arts in support of city council's priorities of community for all, livability, and economic.
So diverse use is better than broadening arts genres.
Well, community use could be more than,
What I was thinking.
we could do, community use could be a Boy Scout group wants us to do something here. I don't know, but
Genre strikes me as odd, but we could, we
Oh, it does?
yeah.
and if we want to keep the live genre, what are they talking about? If we're just saying use. I think that's,
But
That's broad.
genres in performing arts are generally like dance, music, theater.
yeah, but that's,
Maybe
but we're
you
also
have
looking
more
for,
dance or more.
but we're also looking for use. That could be commercial rentals potentially,
Mhm.
or anybody come and use it. So we go any kind of use.
Okay, I know. Okay, discuss options to diversify and increase use of the Center for the Performing Arts in support of council's priorities of livability. Community for all.
Bravo.
And then do we want to add the genre, think also adding the genre for the performing arts? Because it might behoove also to put it as like underneath it too, in
Well,
order.
that's diversify the use.
But if we want to add in specifically that we also, on the performing arts side, we're looking at the genres as well.
Well, the other thing is like, that could come out of the committee. You know.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't need to be in the work
That-
plan,
that's fine,
like, that would be a
Yeah, that's
goal
part,
of-
that's the
goal.
work plan is the goal is to come out with these things.
That's fine, I'm just saying also if we, yeah,
Do we have a milestone?
no, because we put out.
It could be TBD
TBD.
after the,
What I can say there on milestones is to be determined, and then I can say on current status notes that this is contingent upon home company program
Completion.
policy revisions.
Nice.
Which then we put it on the agenda after the homecoming.
but that way it alerts people.
That- that's what-
This is where we've been going for a while.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got scribble and I'm gonna cross these other ones out.
Now you have
There we go.
24, 25 remaining meetings. Okay, so everybody good on where we're at with that? School months of July and December, that's it. Unless, do you put in there unless a special meeting's called?
I'll add that.
Sure, why not? Because this is a special,
Mhm.
or that we're all special and we meet on.
Especially.
Okay,
And does anybody, okay, now the next part, look at your calendars. Does anybody see anything on those calendars that might kick in? I know that's a little premature, but homework assignment, go home, check your calendars and see if anything on any of those states might be of conflict and get back to our council liaison or, yeah.
Staff
committee
liaison.
and staff liaison.
Any other questions on that? Because this is an action item. So here's your time to say other questions, otherwise I will entertain a motion.
I move that PAC approve the Performing Arts Committee work plan for fiscal year 2024-25 with the revisions that we discussed.
Here's a second. Okay. Do we have anybody from the public that would like to comment on our current work plan?
She did not raise her hand.
Okay. Then I will take a vote. All in favor? Say aye, raise your hands. Okay, unanimously. Yay.
Very nice. Good job.
So that takes care of that, and that's what I've been. Personally, that's what I would gather, all this other stuff is in the way. That's what I wanted to get is. First ability to look forward. Okay, and then, new business, so, discussion. Oh, that's the old minutes, but shut down, let's go back to our new minutes. Joint meeting with visual arts, 5.2. Would somebody like, is there staff?
There is not a formal, I have an email from John Lang that I'm gonna share with you guys. The Visual Arts Committee suggested their interest. They would like to collaborate in discussion, and their items are collaborate on marketing, arts, and cultural in Mountain View generally. A specific reference was made to the Parks and Recreation schedule of class booklet, which I would have to say that we probably have to go back to the recreation,
The class booklet.
the little activity guide that goes out. They call it the class booklet, but it's an activity
Yeah,
guide that
yes,
goes
yes,
to
yes, yes.
everybody. But we would need to go back to the recreation division and ask if maybe we could have a page. So it would be a little bit staff driven there. Expand areas within the CPA for artist display. Right now, they do the visual arts, so we have a new artist up, you guys should come over and take a look, it's actually very timely and very fun. But we display in the downstairs lobby, but we do have walls in the upstairs lobby that we could expand that. And would be interested in any feedback or observations from CPA audiences with art in the CPA. Could an event be held where art, performing, and visual could be combined and hosted in the Center for the Performing Arts? An example of Destination Imagination was referenced. And then host a Meet the Artist event in the facility, which I think the hosting, like we just had an installation, we could have the artist come and speak, and I think we would do this at the downtown community.
When was the last time that happened?
Or-
That the artist came in?
No, that there was a hope that we hosted a reception for
Oh,
them.
right, exactly.
That's never happened.
That's true.
I mean, it sounds nice.
It's kind of rude to invite them and not do anything.
And who wrote this? Collaboration?
Sorry, I come from a different world.
Pictures will let you know.
Thanks for coming, come up in 6 weeks.
So this is the thing says will update or potential collaborate. A joint meeting. Is there a potential date for this joint meeting?
There is not a potential date for the joint meeting, but if you guys would like to either create a little ad hoc too, or it could be, vice chair and chair, and meet with the other vice chair and chairs of this other committee and have like a meeting of the minds and kind of discuss this. This is back to you guys, what you want to do.
Okay. So then how do we reach? Do we go through the liaisons or do we go to
Yes,
the
I
committee
would
chair?
contact John and, because he's the liaison to both the
Oh, I
Visual
see.
Arts Committee and the Downtown Committee. I could contact him and say, yes, you guys are on board with what they would like to do. We'd like to have a discussion. And when can we meet?
You gonna ask to say something?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Okay,
We were running.
might as well. Yeah, it's, the more we collaborate, the better off we reinforces other people's things. Let's see, can we, okay, committee staff. While we're on visual art, I just want to show you something. Well, actually, the things, hopefully we can see them all. I was in Denver, dropping my son off over the 4th of July. And this is more of visual arts, but this is what I came across in, so hopefully big enough, but look at this.
Mhm.
I think this is a good job.
That I just want to show you visual arts. They're taking buildings that we got blanks. Am I still there? Okay, I don't want to be putting personal stuff in there.
Be careful.
I mean, this is one neighborhood.
Mhm.
Oh, well.
Oh, this is a little, okay, you know how we have alleyways? This is what they do with their alleyways.
Downtown Denver, I was there for a conference one year, and at the time, they still had their, they had downtown pianos
Mhm.
down the boulevard, so like
Mhm.
where the boulevard, like where our boulevard is closed, they would have pianos.
I'm still showing pictures. And this is one neighborhood, so it's called Low High or High Low
Mhm.
downtown. Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible and you would personally like it, because if you see the diversity of the artists here,
Right. I
you would be going, wow, let's
I-
get that here. I mean, that's you.
yes. What is that?
Can I see?
Sure, why not? I do think, I think as with the, with the visual arts community, committee. we
That's you.
do need to be
Go ahead, go ahead.
looking, do need to be looking at the health of the arts, both visual and performing in the city, because I, if there could be some sort of study or something at what is going on between the two committees, I think that would also so not relating necessarily to the direct visual arts, but committee meeting, but I do think that's something that we need to look at in some formal way,
Mhm.
the health of the arts here. Because they're low.
Well, there is a woman that I actually met sometime
Oh,
last
that's-
year.
That's a Ruth
Who
Ginsburg. yeah.
started a not-for-profit where she works, she's trying to put public art on private buildings.
Mhm.
And so she's working with building owners and she's trying to raise funds.
Mhm.
And she has identified a couple of places, you know, a couple of building owners that are willing to go for it. And I don't know when the first thing is going to get implemented, but it's kind of patterned after a program or a not-for-profit in Los Altos that does the
Mhm.
same thing.
They're based in Mountain View, that's nonprofit.
Pardon me?
This other one is based in Mountain View.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
so she, I think, was inspired by what they're doing in Los Altos, and I actually went to the opening for the fruit and vegetable market in Los Altos on, San Antonio.
Mhm.
Can't remember the name of it, but they have a mural, that somebody recently painted, and it's a
Oh, yeah.
field, it's colorful, it's beautiful, and all of that.
So something to be considering as we are meeting with the visual arts committee, and the downtown committee as well. Kind of, not just having a broader vision about where we are going with the arts rather than just having a social with an artist that is in CEA. Well, wonderful.
I'm grabbing anything we can.
I know that they're working on their, public arts.
Now, before COVID, they hired a consultant, I think it was the same consultant that worked for Los Altos. And then somewhere along the line, staff killed the consultant for the use of the consultant. Now, just for your information, when I was on council, I was pushing that we have all these utility boxes, traffic boxes that people, we have a lot of places that opportunity, go down the trail, there's all these other things. That public art, visual art could be put out there. And I got a pushback saying, well, we need to pay these people. And I'm going,
The artists.
yeah. And I go, well, maybe, you know, we got a lot of artistic people in the community that we can allow them to do it. You know, here it is, run it through and do it. And so I'm still pushing that through these guys that, oh, we gotta be, no, you have guidelines. Take a look at it, do it and let them do it. If you go to San Luis Obispo, you go to Long Beach, you guys have probably been to other cities where you go down and there's all kinds of arts. Yeah. And that improves, to me, it improves the quality of life and just diversity of, oh, look at that, I hadn't thought about that or saw that. And so that's where I
City
Yeah.
of Dublin, we had a sixth grade class design banners and actually built banners.
okay, so that's, do we need to, set an
I wrote
action
down
item?
broader art division with the arts.
So there's a recommendation, is that an action item?
Yes, that we meet and collaborate with.
Okay, motion? Don't
Just to
defer.
reach out, Jeff, to,
Have a joint meeting.
okay,
The joint meeting of all the committees or?
So it'll be, the suggestion was it would be chair and vice chair or
Okay.
2 from each committee, so there'll be 6 folks. But it'll
Okay.
be two representatives from each committee, and then we'll discuss these items as a group and then bring it back to the other.
Again, is there a motion that we meet with?
I motion to move forward on the meeting with the Visual Arts Committee and Downtown Committee, these for the chairs and vice chairs.
A second, I see a nod, there's a second. Okay,
Who's second?
all in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, okay. Now we go to committee updates, staff announcements. And this is where we do have an update here, and I also asked our illustrious liaison to sort of give us an idea what came through with the budget process that was approved. And then she has some great announcements telling us that there's going to be a new population. No, but
The budget was approved, so the big announcements from my perspective, from staff perspective, a couple of them are budget, I'm gonna do the ones that are not budget related, and then I'll move into the one that ties into it. I'm bringing on 3 new staff people, so I have a performing arts, 3 new staff people.
and they will be doing,
So I have a performing arts supervisor in charge of production that will be managing the back of the house, as I like to say. He comes on next Monday, and then I have a administrative assistant that comes on the following Monday, the 29th. Yay, me. That's a personal, like, it's really hard to manage all this and not have somebody supporting you. And then the third one that's coming on, probably not till the end of August, first part of September, is performing arts supervisor that's in charge of front of house that will manage box office, front of house managers.
are these full-time jobs?
These are all full-time jobs. I did kind of a restructuring. I had some retirements and some folks leave, and I.
Oh, Austin, I
restructured,
mean,
so-
Justin.
And, Justin hasn't announced anything. And so I'll have 3 supervisors, including Justin, and he'll go strictly to operations and business.
Okay.
As a supervisor, and then the win, which comes with the budget was approved, and the win as part of that budget is a full-time senior stagehand position.
Okay, so that's where I was gonna be asking
So that's
because,
why I kind of wanted to do them in order. So the senior stagehand will come on board. So then for back of house, because we are wholly understaffed back of house, we will have a supervisor, Stephen, who is our performing arts assistant, is still with us, and then a senior stagehand position. That actually is where Stephen came from. And then when they moved him up, they eliminated that position. So I brought it back because he's worked way too many hours this year. So I'll have a full complement of full-time crew. And then we've brought on another 6 hourly stagehand crew. So we'll have a full complement.
so for one of our my goals, and you guys can jump in if you did, is that we want to get a staff that will be able to present the things that we're looking to do. Is this in the right direction to get you that? Will that then, when we go to these presentations to these other people and they want to staff it, you can say, no, we will do it. Oh, by the way, we will charge you. Is that, executive director smugly says yes. Okay, so that will help.
There's actually a little more.
Okay,
That's right.
yeah, okay, so you're going to that goal, that's ultimate goal that could get us the presentations of other stuff coming in, okay?
And then the final is in the capital outlay, I asked for a new projector because our projector is 30 some odd years old. And just embarrassing when you put up a slideshow and doesn't look very good. So it makes it really hard to have commercial clients. I mean, that's, if somebody's gonna come in and do, their annual, to their, update to their employees and, we're in Silicon Valley and they come up with really beautiful stuff. And then we have this horrible projector. So we got.
Is this one that Justin went out and researched?
Actually, Stephen did that.
Okay, and is it better than average?
Yes. Of course it
Is it state of the art?
Shoots flames.
Well, because what was that? What was the presentation I saw? They had the old dance and the new thing. It was during Christmas.
Oh, Smune.
Smooth, and they came out, they had their projector sitting there. Okay, and so that would also help. We can rent this thing out?
Well, we rent, yes. What I'll say is we rent the one that we own right now, but now, I mean, nobody wants to use it. 'Cause it's just theirs. And so then that, what it'll mean though is folks like Smune that have to rent a projector to bring in, they'll be able to rent ours essentially
Okay.
at a much lesser rate than what you paid it.
Why?
Oh, yeah. Well, because it's already in place.
No, that's not the point. She knows, Scott, why should we charge? What happens with the old one?
It goes to surplus.
So Second City or the community center, anywhere, just wherever it goes?
Well, it goes to but it's the warehouse at MOC, and then if somebody wanted to come and take it.
So there's no use for it whatsoever now?
Probably not.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's really that old.
That's right. Okay. So that was good
So
news.
it's all good news. And then I'm handing this out to you guys. Get people and pass it down, because one of the verbiage vernacular things that I want us to become more comfortable, you'll see it in the ancillary spending for our patrons that come. This is figured out, and that's the backup documentation that comes from Americans for the Arts for their economic prosperity. They do this every 5 years. They update the economic prosperity, so they're on number 6 now, I think. But those are the numbers that we use to come up with the ancillary spending for the CPA. And this one's just more for fun.
Did, with all this new attention that you get in your employees, was there something in the way of marketing? Oh, you already had a marketing person.
I have a marketing assistant, basically, what I've done is I've hired a, outside consultant to do, the graphic work for me. And then I have a marketing assistant that's part-time that will be under my front of house supervisor. And she's been on board for probably 4 months now. She's doing a pretty good job. She's more focused digitally. She does our Facebook, makes sure our screens are looking really nice, posts videos, did a great job at the volunteer dinner, and taking photos and taking the video. And then I have a graphic artist that does print.
Was there any software updates in the budget? Are you, I thought you were, are you happy with your current ticketing?
So the one that was updated in this last budget that just ended is our venue management software. We used to have Artifacts. Well, we still do. We're transferring everything over as we speak, literally. Artifacts is what, 15, 20 years old?
It was last updated 2012.
It's a little old, a little painful. So we're moving to Momentous Technologies, which is Venue Ops. It's a much better system, user-friendly. And we're inputting everything as we're speaking. We are being trained on it. So probably later this fall, we'll be full complement and be able to
So there is new
move everything.
software.
Yeah.
Is the IT department of Mountain View helping you? Is this an independent contractor coming in and helping?
We purchased it and they're training us on remotely. IT helped us with actually getting it across the finish line.
Okay, and will that help us have other artists or groups come in, work with us on our ticketing? Is it can we encourage other theater, like the Theater Works, to use our software?
So that's not a ticketing software. That's a venue management software. That's basically, as I like to say, it's the keeper of the calendar. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces that we rent. So we need to make sure it's our puzzler. So that's the keeper of the calendar. It's our rental contracts, equipment use, that sort of thing goes into that. And then the ticketing software is a separate software. That's a separate conversation because they, TheaterWorks does have a
Because I
different-
thought we
a
were
different-
trying to get them to use ours.
Yeah, but
That's still in the works.
yes.
Okay. Okay, and you got more for these delightful numbers?
And then I gave you all the quarterlies, and then the last page is your totals for the whole year. And then, moving forward, I will bring this to the group every quarter. So you'll see.
This is really nice. You.
No,
Yes, you,
you
please.
asked last time.
I'm gonna ask again,
Hand me
that
yours.
the, shows the number of performances. Because you're saying tickets sold are half. So if they had, because I was looking at the classical.
Oh, you want
Splendor.
number of performances?
Yeah, so I can say, okay, well, they had one performance and they did 99%, whereas the cumulative was only 41% and they had 7 different performances. And that will help me to say, oh, okay,
Gotcha.
tighten it up.
Mhm.
Or will help support our reason to say, tighten it up.
Okay, I'll add that in,
Well, thank you.
and then I'll bring it back to you guys,
And Schumann and
at
Brock
the next
didn't
meeting.
do too hot, huh? Tickets sold 29%. And is this all on, okay, normally you would show us second stage, main stage. Right here. So are these all main stage or second?
No, these are mixed.
So.
So you want number, where do you want the main, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put the main stage, second stage in front of it.
Yeah, just, or it's alongside.
Because then you guys will know, like main stage, second stage, main stage. Or do you want them separated out,
I
like
was
all
thinking
main
that.
stage and all second stage? We could do that too.
But either way, that's, the committee feels
That's
comfortable with.
nice as well. Stage.
And second stage?
Yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah, it's good, then we can have a quick
Yeah.
comparison. So what was this group, that Nature and Youth? For 29%?
I was very into the proposal to put the, who was renting the company. Or convention. Is it?
Yeah.
Maybe that can go.
Where was Nature? Okay, we're fine tuning, but I'm just curiosity. Who are these guys?
Nature and Youth, who was that? That was
Was that main stage, second stage?
no, that's second stage.
Yeah.
Called Nature and Use.
Nature and Youth, Schumann, was that the conservatory? I think it might have been. the conservatory.
Okay, so yeah, that would be tickets, convenience fees. Again, convenience fees, we get to keep,
Yes,
and then the FUF means,
is facility use fee?
okay, and we get to keep that.
Yes.
So we get to keep about $30,000. And is there a line that says this goes to the house? Total to the house?
You want total to,
To the house.
not total revenues, you want total,
Well, I mean, you know,
Yes.
yeah, because one of those things we were looking for is also see if we can up our, and if the revisions to our home companies comes through, then we can start to say, oh, we're actually, there is a goal to sort of maybe
that,
cover our costs or participate to the, during the budgets, were you required or required to a contribution from the CPA to the general budget?
no, I'm out of the operating, the general fund.
Well, it's because the golf course also it brings in money, but they are supposed to participate and give back to the,
Yeah, but they're a separate, that's a separate company.
I don't know, but we're sort of like,
No, we're not, we're city owned and
I
operated.
know we're city owned, but I say,
We're city operated.
well, in the past, they said, I know. In the past, they looked at the performing arts as they're contributing back to the cost recovery was 80% and they were
Remember
split.
this number? Ancillary spending. So what I'm gonna say to you is industry standard is 70% cost recovery. And then the ancillary spending is where our is our extra.
Okay, so you'll have a percentage on that?
What?
Well, you said
Cost recovery.
70%. So,
No, the average is, so once we're done with our final numbers, I will bring to you, remember how I brought it last year? It's the years and what our percentage of cost recovery for our entire year. I won't do cost recovery on each one of these. We do it for the whole year for our budget. And then my gold standard, I mean, it's ideal if you're at 70%, which we're not at 70% this year. We're coming out of the pandemic. We've actually done pretty well,
so
but we're not at 70%.
this page is the quarter, and then the following pages are,
There's 4 quarters in a total.
oh, so you brought up.
Okay.
So reviews is no guarantee of success financially. True. Theater reviews are not necessarily a success at the box office. And we've had how many of those this year from TheaterWorks?
Well,
At least 2.
they performed 4 in the show. You can see by the numbers. Obviously, Hershey Felder does very,
Well, I mean, I was just looking at the last 2 that did not do well.
yeah.
Okay. This is the 4th quarter, this is the 3rd quarter, this is the 2nd quarter. And it's too early to compare because. Oh, that's right, you're not on a calendar, you're on a.
No, we're on fiscal.
Yes. And ours is July or August,
July to June.
that helps. Okay. Anything here that pops out that you would like us to be aware of?
Ancillary spending.
Okay, well. On all, for all quarters. So the 2nd quarter versus the 3rd quarter is way,
So December.
so December is a lot more shows,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why it's way up.
And then we die down. Typical performing arts season is September to probably May. So June, July, August, we typically are like.
So if we wanted to be pushing something as a group and say, hey, maybe bring in some diverse. The 3rd quarter would be a good one to do it.
First quarter, right?
Well, no, this is, remember, on the fiscal year, so January, February, March.
Well, wouldn't you want to program it during the summer months?
No, because we've got plenty of money coming through. So April, May, June,
That's a whole nother conversation.
I know, you know, you mean, I just bring them up and just going, you're going, stop picking me leaves, you saying.
You didn't have to start with the next one.
Oh, you're right, summer sucks.
Yes, yes.
There's a reason why.
And,
People are gone. People are on vacation. You're competing with graduations. You're competing with the 4th of July. People have got stuff going on. I mean, that's why I said traditionally,
So the first.
performing arts centers run from September to typically May, and then June, July. The worst thing that you can do is put a show on and it's some high school graduation. You can't
Yes.
compete with it.
That's
You just
June.
can't.
But so we're looking at July, August as well.
so they have Friday night music in the plaza.
Mhm.
I looked at the plaza when I walked in today and it just seemed like cluttered all around the place. Okay, I'll take that as a yes. And is there any opportunity for the Performing Arts Center to morph its present with that, with a crowd out there? And that's something that you guys, I'm asking you guys to think about. Because there are people are dancing and there's stuff around there. Maybe what can we do? Is there any way to take advantage of that crowd for the center here? So,
Well, there is a table out there and we do give out our information. The recreation department does do that for us. They have a tent and a table. a little bit of the struggle, to be honest, at this moment. I mean, I've got new staff coming on, but this past year in this moment, basically, I'll just give you an example. One of the summer concerts, we had Simeon coming in, so we've got 600 people walking into the building
On a Friday night.
that we have to take care of. And we've got to navigate them around the summer concerts to get into the building.
Okay.
So, right now it's a little bit of, we just don't have the bandwidth of staff. I mean, we put flyers and stuff out at local tents, but as far as
You got your volunteers to help, right?
they're helping us inside, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, it's a double for us because we've got 600 people that we've got to take care of.
And I know we're getting in the weeds, or I'm getting in the weeds, but how are we making out with the bean scene and their coordination with ABC?
That has not moved forward. Justin updated him and gave him a new map that would include the interior of the theater. But it's his responsibility to go.
Okay. And anybody else have anything? Because I talked to you.
Regarding youth or like reaching the general public, we don't have a strong necessarily, I mean, we can advertise different events happening in CPA, but we don't have a strong pull to go directly to the public unless they're interested already in a certain show. And so that's just something I think if we are specifically looking to, which we should technically, as a city service, be attracting public members, we would have to think differently about the approach that we're taking because it's a rental facility, you're optional to go to a show. You're not gonna go to a show that they don't particularly want to go to, that's not a professional artist. But nonetheless, so to be incorporated into this idea of what is happening in the plaza, it just isn't right now with the way that CPA is structured. I don't see what the general public could do in order to incorporate them into seating or ticketing, anything of that sort, truly. But I think there's something to be said there, though, that could be.
So I have a question. We got PYT on the phone or listening in. Is it possible that some organization may want it before these Friday night events? Do a opening act of 10 minutes of a skit of some kind? Would that be beneficial to us, or is that just not something that makes sense?
It's not out of the realm. It's just a matter of one, we would have to ask the groups that want to do that one, and then we'd have to approach probably the other way around. I need to approach recreation if they're willing to allow for the 10 minutes prior to.
Or I just
the
said 10
mayor's
minutes, but
meeting.
just a small
Or
snippet.
3 minutes even, you
Yeah.
know?
But
Um,
I think we should look into collaborating in the future with the recreation department, though, because it sounds like that's the direction that would be most beneficial in order to attract general audiences and to also get the input of what the general public is already attracted to. But from our side right now, I can't see, without having that conversation with the Parks and Rec division, I don't see how it would.
If what is Kristen's title?
Christine, she's the
Kristen.
assistant, and that's part of the reason that, so recreation and the Center for the Performing Arts are under Christine. So, I mean, that's an easy conversation to have.
Okay.
It's just, I mean, it's good that you bring it up because now's the time to have that conversation because then, we're getting ready to go into
And
the year
a bit-
and like, what could we do? What might happen? What might happen next summer?
We're
wanna
the
do.
only space that there can be performing arts in the city.
Yeah.
Period. Unless you are going, and I mean, you can't have live music in a park, you can't, you just, there's no, in performing arts, you can have, yes, you could squat and do a dance.
Well, no,
But
Yeah.
people could set up a stage anywhere. They could be at the community center. There's the Pear Theater too.
Pear is a private theater, and so they have their own schedule.
But we were also talking about the junior highs have stages, the high school has stage. So these are potential. So, if you want to broaden it and bring the event to the community instead of having the community come here,
Well, but so it depends. So one, our theaters are quite booked in the city of Mountain View.
Now,
And yeah, well, no, including the high schools or the middle schools. So and it's already and logistically, the theaters are not being a part of a current arts nonprofit. The theaters are not being utilized. The schools are not really open to utilizing it with the community.
what did I just ask you that we should do that, shouldn't we?
We can open, yeah, but the thing is also then you come into the policy issue of pricing as well, looking at mid-level pricing or our, fees as well, that's why Parks and Rec is doing their fee.
Citywide fee study.
And
Looking
so,
at everything.
so the issue comes with at the current fee level, what type of programs do we have possible from a community aspect? We have community orgs as well, and they're technically in our performing arts center already.
But the point that I'm trying to help you, because you want your diverse city groups. Why can't we collaborate or start the discussion or the conversation with these other stages to say, hey, we may not be there for that, but you have an opportunity.
I don't think we're gonna crack the nut with the school district at the moment. I don't know if that is the most, I agree, we need to do something, but I'm not sure approaching the school district is the first course of action. But, and so one of the things with that Silicon Valley Creates was when they presented to the Visual Arts Committee brought up, was I think we need to look at our fee policies to see because the other thing too, if we have emerging orgs that are coming out, that we have no support network in our arts realm to support new artists or new orgs or new theater companies. They have to come in with a certain level already, but we have no way we have no emerging artist program. And that might behoove us to look into actually an emerging artist or an emerging organization type of a fee structure or something like that. Because I think we don't have a tiered system right now in the city, and which means you must enter in at a certain level. And so I think that is also contributing to our lack of use. We have a huge lack of use just in general with the arts, but that's because no one can find space. But
I could also say there's a stage at Community School of Music has a stage.
a private company, the arts world is very protective of their space.
If the question is not asked, what's the answer?
Which question? No, I'm saying,
In general, you're the instructor. The question is not asked, what's the usual answer?
well, I think we can propose a solution as well.
Yeah, usually the answer is no. So by us starting the conversation.
Well, I think we have to be
Yes, out of it.
particular about where we start the conversation, where we ask the question.
Okay, but that's, okay, but see, we started the dialogue here right now, and the rest is good. But yeah, I just got to keep an open mind. Okay, anything else, anybody?
That is all that I
You're worn out, you're tired. Okay. Okay, wait, where's this, the final thing about the next announcement meeting, which we.
Oh, it's not even on here, is it?
No,
Next meeting is August.
it is on there, but
Yeah.
that was under the thing that we have to get back to you on and say. August the 21st.
Yeah.
I hereby adjourn the meeting of the Performing Arts Committee for the July 17th. We will reconvene on August the 21st. Thank you for all your participation.